everyone. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another time with me. It's so nice to have you here. And today we are going to be doing something really easy, but seems a little bit tricky. But I've come to tell you that it's really easy. All right. And today we are going to be taking our body measurements. Like, you're going to be taking your body measurements by yourself. And if I tell you it's easy, just take it from me that it is easy. And you're going to see how easy it is right now. I'm so glad to have you here. Let me know where you are joining me from. My name is Muturaya. In case this is the first time you are seeing me, okay? So where have you been? All right, so ensure that you follow me. If you're just seeing me for the first time, subscribe to my channel, Muturaya the Dressmaker, and I would love to have you again and again and again and again. All right, quickly, let's get into the deal of the day. All right, so today we are going to be looking at, or we are going to be teaching ourselves how to take our body measurements by ourselves. All right, with a mirror, without a mirror, you can do it. You can do it by yourself, whether you have a mirror or you do not have a mirror. Okay, so how do we go about this thing? I'm going to show you right now. First thing you need to know is that it is really easy. Okay, second thing is you can do it by yourself, and the third thing is you can send your measurements to any designer, any dressmaker to make dresses for you if you know how to take your measurements correctly. All right. And another thing, you can even shop for dresses if you are sure of your body measurements, bust, waist, hip, and all of that. So I'm going to be going into it right now to teach us how to go about it. Okay. So the first thing you want to do if you want to make a garment, whether you want to send your measurements to your dressmaker or a fashion designer to make a dress for you, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and put on all of your enhancers and all of your shapewear. Right now, I'm not wearing any shapewear, but if you want to take your measurement, if for example you want the dress to come with a particular kind of cinching and all of that, you want to wear whatever shapewear you want to wear underneath the garment you intend to sew. You ensure that you put it on while you're taking this measurement. That is, if you are actually sending this measurement to your dressmaker to make something beautiful for you. Okay, and if you just want to know how to take your own measurements by yourself, then welcome on board and let's get right into it. Okay, so you need, if you want to take your measurement by yourself, you need some measurements. Okay, get your pen, get your paper, because as you're taking the measurement, you need to write them down. And of course, you need to get your measuring tape. This is what makes it what it is. Okay, get your measuring tape, get your paper, get your pen, and let's get right into it. First thing you need to know is, so measurements are really key and important when you're sending your measurement to a dressmaker, which is your shoulder, your front width, your shoulder to waist, the front and the back. You need your bust, waist, and hip. You need the dress length. You need your sleeve measurements. You need the round sleeve. You need your sleeve length. Okay, so those are the very important um, measurements. Every other measurement that you need, your designer will let you know. All right, but in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to go about every of the design so that you can know. I'm sorry, every of the measurements, so that you can know how to go about measuring yourself when you need to. Okay, so grab your measuring tape and let's get started. All right. So the first thing you need to do is get your natural waistline. Wherever your natural waistline is, that point in your curve where the midpoint between your upper torso and the lower torso. Okay, the midpoint, when you bend over like this, that part sort of break. All right, can you see me? So at that point, you need to get something like maybe a belt or something, or a thread or a twine, something really small. Okay, I have this to demonstrate to you guys. All right, so I'm going to grab this now. This is mine. All right, so grab this and I'm going to tie it right there. Hmm? Bend over and see that yeah, you are tying it at the right spot. Okay, so the next thing you are going to do, ensure that this is tied in place like this. Check it. Okay, so it's still in the right place. So now you can begin your measurements. This makes everything really easy and seamless for you. And you can get anything that looks like a belt, a twine, something that will be visible for you to see. All right, I will define that place for you. Just put it on. So we are starting our measurement now with our shoulder measurement. Now you need to grab the tape, starting from the beginning, okay, where you have the one. Whether you are sending the measurement to your designer in inches or in centimeter, this is the centimeter mark. If you are doing it in centimeter, ensure that all your measurement is taken this way. If you are doing it in inches, do it this way. Okay, now let's start with our shoulder measurement. Here is how you take your shoulder measurement. Do it this way and over to your shoulder. Now you need to look at the your shoulder tip. Okay, if you touch this place, there is a bone right there. That's your shoulder tip. So we are taking our measurement from this point to this point, but you do it from the back. Okay, make sure that your hair is out of pay or of the way, so it doesn't disturb you. Grab your tape and let it go in like this. Okay, then place it like this. Ensure that you're touching your shoulder bone right there. Okay, and your shoulder bone right here as well. Okay, so when you do that, whether you have a mirror or not, you can do this. So ensure that this finger is holding on to the beginning of the tape right here, then the second finger is holding on to it right here. Okay, so pick it like this, where this spot where it is, just note that point, then pick it like this, and then you check. Hmm? So right here my shoulder is 15 and a half. Okay, 15 and a half right there. Then you can take your measurements. All right, then just write it down. Shoulder 15 and a half. All right, so the next thing you want to do is your front width. Your front width is taken this way from one shoulder curve, where your the armhole of your dress will always start. Place the beginning of your tape right there. At this point, please guys look carefully. At this point, then do the same thing for the other point, right where your front width starts and the end. Right, okay, look at this, take a close look. Right, did you see that? So you bring it forward with this point. Now bring this point forward, and whatever you have there, mine is 13, so you just record it. Okay, now for the back width, which is between this and this, for the back, you can actually, that can actually be tricky. So you can actually leave that out, but if you can, you can just repeat the same process just like it is right here, but it can be a little bit tricky to do by yourself, and in that case your designer know how to figure it out. If you can get the shoulder measurement correctly and you can get the front fit correctly, what you have, most of the time the dress will fit, and most of the time your designer knows how to figure out the back width. So moving on to the front width, that's our shoulder, the front length, shoulder to your natural waistline. It is important that you take all measurements of your waist from your natural waistline. This is your natural waistline. This point where we discovered earlier on is your natural waistline. Okay, now from the shoulder, put your measuring tape right here. Can you see? Allow the tape to go over your bust this way. Okay, Ensure that when you are taking all measurements, you are standing up straight. Okay? Then note that point. I can assure you whether you have a mirror or not, you can do this. Note that point. Ensure that the tape is over your bust. It shouldn't be like this. This is the correct way to do it. Okay? Note that point. Alright? Then pick this way. Alright? Then you know your what? Your front length, shoulder to waist. Mine is 16 and a half. Alright? Mine is 16.5. If you are taking your measurement in centimeter, ensure that L measurement is taken this way. Then you can record whatever you have down. Okay? So now next for the back width, this helps us to really know where our back width is. Put the tape on your shoulder like this. Okay? Then grab your tape like this. Okay? Then grab the tape like this. Ensure it goes to the back. Ensure it touches this rope you tied on your waistline area. Once it touches that point, then you can remove it. You can see that what I have right here is about 15.75. Usually, your front length, because of the woman body, the way it is, the front length will usually have a longer measurement. My front length earlier was 16 and a half, and now my back length is 15.75, which means the front is longer than the back. If your measurement is this way, I assure you it is correct. You are right. That is the way it should be because there's the bust in the front. Okay? And sometimes we have it 2 inches or less, or sometimes even more. 1 inch, 2 inches, or even more, depending on how busty you are. That's what makes the difference between the front measurement for the shoulder to waist and the back measurement. Now we can take our bust. I'm taking our bust measurements right now and take the tape rule like this. Ensure that you are working with the starting point. All right, place it right under it this way. Okay, ensure you can move it here and it can go downwards with this finger. All right, you only need this index finger inside of it. Every other thing should fit. The tape should fit. All right, that way your garment is not too loose and not too tight. All right, so this is your bust measurement. Now you can now pick it this way. All right, and measure. What do we have? We have 37 and a half. All right, this way your garment fits perfectly when you get it. All right, if you're away from wherever the designer that is making it for you, you can send these measurements and I can show you your dresses come out right. Now we are taking our waist measurements. Still the same procedure, right on this point, right here. This is our natural waistline, right here. Ensure that you take these measurements snug, right? It should not be tight. It should not be tight, but it should not be loose. Okay? It just has to be snug with your index finger, right, holding the tip of the tape to the point like this. So this is my measurement. If you take a look at it like this, whatever you have right here is what you have. Let's take that again. Let's take that again. Okay, ensure that measurement is snug with your index finger inside of it. Then you pick that point and check what you have. So right on that point, I have my waist measurement to be 29.75. Okay, 29.75. 0.75. This is my waist measurement. Now moving on to the hip measurement. So the hip measurement, the hip is the largest circumference of your body usually, all right? But we have some people that are maybe like the there are different body shapes. Some people are bigger or over here at their bust than the hip. Okay, if that's your case, your bust will be bigger. But for me, my hip is the largest circumference of my body because my hip seems to be the biggest part. All right, so using the same procedure. All right, pick the beginning of the tape, bring it over yourself like this, hold it with your index finger, ensure that the tape is able to go over your hip and it can come up, over your hip and it can come. If you need to loosen it so that your hip is able to go through. Ensure that these measurements are snug but not tight. All right. So, all right. So if you are joining me, let me know where you are joining me from. Let me know where you are joining me from, and if you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up. All right. Okay. So take it down on your hip. If you take a look at the way I'm measuring, you see that it's tight this way. It could not pass through. So you just have to release it a bit and see how it's able to pass through. All right. So this is your measurement. You can now pick this right now. Release this one. Release this like this. Then pick this. And what you have here, 41 inches, that's my hip measurement. Whatever you have is your hip measurement. You write it down. Okay. So if you are measuring crotch for your trouser, this is the way you go about measuring crotch. Ensure that you have the beginning of this tape going towards the back. All right. Then ensure that it touches this on your waistline. Can you see? Then bring it forward. Okay. All right. So what you have right here, all right, this what you have here divided by 2 is your crotch. All right. If you are having here to be your waistline, but if it's a trouser, wherever you want your waistline to start from, whether it's here, okay, put this right here, put it here. Okay, then you take it like that. That's for the crotch. That's for the crotch. Let me take that again. If you're measuring crotch for your trouser, wherever your trouser sits, if it's a high rise or if it's a low waist trouser, take a twine or a belt, something like this, and tie it over to that point. Then take your tape rule this way, let it go over you. Then assuming it's here, you can now measure it from right here. Can you see? Right, then that will now be your crotch. Whatever you have here, divide it by 2, that will be your crotch. Now, the next thing we need to do is take our dress measurements. How do you want, if you are having it long garments, if you're having it short garments, everything, just place the measure tape rule here, then over your bust, okay, then take it down. Okay, ensure you are standing upright. Now you need to look at the measurements. If you need a floor length or an ankle length dress, you need to look at that measurement. Okay, but you don't bend over like this, you won't get the right measurement. What you need to do is place the measuring tape here over your bust, then you go over this way. Sometimes you need to take your hip point too. So when you want to take this measurement, you can just look at it. Where is my hip point? Check where is the largest part of my hip, then note that point, then that is your hip point. All right, if you're measuring your hip point. Now if you're measuring the dress length, the measuring tape right on your shoulder, then over your bust all the way. Now stand upright, then hold your measuring tape like this. Hold your tape rule like this in that upright position. Okay? Hold it. Look at me. Do this, do this. With your palm, hold it down. Looking forward, looking straight. All right? Hold it down. After you now hold it down, then you can now, do you see that? Do you see that? Then you can now bend over to, I'm going to bring this camera down so that you can see it properly. Okay, so you can now bend over to look downwards. Then you can now, okay, you can now take your measurement looking downwards like this. So you guys can see that this is really easy. It's easy. There's nothing to it. There's nothing to it, guys. Yes, there's nothing to it, guys. All right, so now those are the measurements you need for your body measurement. Every other measurement, most of the time, can be figured out, and if your designer needs it, she's going to tell you and you can take the measurements. All right, but these are the basics that you need. Okay, if you are measuring for skirts from your natural waistline, then you can take your the length of the skirt that you are making. Okay, you can take the length of the skirt you are making just like this. And if it's a blouse, from your shoulder, you can take your blouse length. Okay, if it's a crop top usually ends somewhere around here, 20 inches, 18, 20 inches. All right, so whatever, if it's a blouse, a full blouse, for me it's usually about 23 inches thereabout. So taking the measurements for the body, you can see that this thing is, it's really easy, right? Okay, so before we move further, give this video a thumbs up. Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so let's go to our sleeve measurements. All right, so for the sleeve, the basic you need, there are about 5 measurements. Okay, now you need the sleeve length, and this will be from that same bone where we measured our shoulder earlier. Now take it down this way. Okay, for the full sleeve measurement. All right, then at this point, which is your wrist, that's where your measurement will end. And if you need it to be longer, or if you need it to be towards your finger, wherever you want it to get to, measurement has to be taken from here right there. Okay, so now I'm taking mine from this point, my shoulder, to my wrist. So take a look at it this way. You can see that I have 24 inches. All right, so 24 inches is what, just, you can just take a look at it like this, right? So you get your measurement that way. Then you can also take measurement of your elbow. All right, your elbow length, and it is usually, if you bend like this, you see your elbow right there, then you can now put your tape right here, then take a look at it where your arm sort of bend over, and that will be your elbow length. Usually if you send these two length measurements, you can always figure out the rest from these two basics. Then for the round measurements, which is the horizontal, you need your round sleeve. Did you see how I did that? Take the beginning of the tape over your arm this way, okay? Then pick it up like this. Ensure it goes over like this, over this way, okay? And this is my measurement, okay? I'm going to take that again. Bring it over your arm like this and under your armpits. Ensure it goes up and comes down. not totally over your shoulder, okay? But here, what you are measuring is your round sleeve, so that the sleeve is not too loose and the sleeve is not tight, okay? This 15 inches is my measurement, okay? So the next thing, I'll measure my elbow. Measuring your round elbow, the tricky thing is don't do the measurement this way, especially if it's like fabrics that are not stretchy. Okay, it's not going to work if you take a measurement this way. Okay, but for fabrics that are stretchy, you're fine. Right? For fabrics that are not stretchy, maybe like cotton, linen, lace, and all of that are not stretchy, ensure that you bend your arm over this way to take the measurement. Bend your arm to take the measurement. All right, so pick, release the beginning, then pick this point, then check what do you have right there. I have 12 inches. Okay, so I have 12 inches for my measurements. Okay, you can just take the measurements down that way as well. Okay, so the last thing for the sleeve is your wrist measurement. And while you're taking your wrist measurement, you take two measurements. Okay, ensure that your palm is this way. Okay, that's where your dress is able to fit in. All right, then you take the measurements this way. Okay, that is the first wrist measurement. Your dress is able to, your hand is able to go into the sleeve. Usually this measurement is usually for, here we have 9.5, 9.5 inches. But if you take the measurements right here, what you have right here is 7.5. So usually that's depending on how big your palm is, okay, you should have a difference of like 2 inches, okay. However, both are important. If you need to send your measurement to your designer, both are important for you to note, okay. So these are what you should know, okay. These are the measurements you should take. If there's any other additional measurement, the designer will let you know. But for you, you're buying a dress, you are getting a dress, you're not sure whether the dress is going to size you, fit you or not, you are buying online, these are the things that you could do. Just get a measuring tape. It's a measuring tape is easy to get your local haberdashery where they sell tailoring sewing stuffs. Buy a measuring tape and just quickly take your bust, waist and hip, waist and bust. So that way your online vendor is able to, okay, I have waist this, my hip is 41 inches, so they will know if the dress you are ordering for will fit you or not. Because sometimes standard sizes varies from size to size, country to country, depending on where you are ordering from. So guys, I hope that this video has been really helpful today. Again, tomorrow we are going to be having this live stream, but tomorrow is going to be how to take measurements of somebody else, maybe your client, your customer, your friend, your sister. You want to make a dress of anyone around you, you're a beginner, how you need to take this measurement. I'm also going to let you know, okay. And I want you to know that tomorrow is going to be really exciting because I'm going to be sharing with you reasons why you have bulge on those dresses. You know those bulge that we see on dresses. I'm going to be sharing it, reasons why you have them on your dresses, on the garments that you are making, and how to eradicate, how to take care of all those bulge when taking your measurements. I'm going to be sharing it with you tomorrow. So you don't want to miss this live stream again tomorrow about this time, 10 a.m., and I'll see you tomorrow. If you have any questions, go ahead, type in your questions. I like to know. I'm always here to help you. Type in your questions and I will be right there giving you answers. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.